Nvidia is now rumored to launch not one but two variants of its GeForce RTX 4080 graphics card with 16GB and 12GB memory capacities. The latest rumors comes from the mega-sized GPU, who stated the two graphics card in the previous leak, and it looks like Kopite7 Kimi does seem to believe that Nvidia launching two RTX 4080 variants might be possible. Nvidia rumored to launch GeForce RTX 4080 in 16GB and 12GB flavors at the same time. Following yesterday's rumor, it was stated that Nvidia was working on two Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 graphics card. One variant was to feature 16GB DDR6X VRAM and a 12-layer PCB, while the other variant was set to feature a 12GB DDR6X VRAM configuration and a 10-layer PCB design. The first card will be aimed primarily at an AIC and reference design, while the second model will only be an AIC variant. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 12GB is also rumored to utilize a PCB different than the RTX 4080 16GB variant. Now, if we compare this to Nvidia's GeForce RTX 3080 lineup, we will see that the Green Team also had two variants of this previous card, one with the 10GB configuration which launched in 2020 and the other with 12GB memory that launched in 2022. The second variant was also only limited to AIC models and never saw a Founders Edition launch. AICs also dictated the price of the card, as Nvidia had no official MSRP mentioned at launch. But the memory configuration wasn't the only thing that changed between the two cards. The RTX 3080 10GB and 16GB featured different core configurations too, with the 12GB variant adding more cores, more VRAM, and a bigger bus interface. The same is expected to be the case for the RTX 4080 series, but instead of waiting for a year or more to get the 16GB variant, it looks like both the 12GB and 16GB flavors would be available at launch. The RTX 4080 is indeed real and was leaked out just a few days ago with its updated and thicker shroud design. Kopite7 Kimi believes that the RTX 4080 12GB will be getting the PG141 SKU 340x341 PCB, which will suggest that the card might end up with an 8104 GPU core, but it doesn't make sense since there will be a huge core configuration difference between the 12GB and the 16GB model if that was going to happen. What's more likely is that the 8104 and 8103 GPUs could be pin compatible on the same PCB, and both the 12GB and 16GB models might end up using the 8103 die, with the 12GB variant being slightly cut down to a 192-bit bus and lower cores. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 expected specifications. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 is expected to utilize a cut-down 8103 to 300 GPU configuration with 9728 cores, or 76 SMs enabled of the total 84 units, whereas the previous configuration offered 80 SMs or 10,240 cores. While the full GPU comes packed with 64MB of L2 cache and up to 224 ROPs, the RTX 4080 might end up with 48MB of L2 cache and lower ROPs due to its high cut-down design. The card is expected to be based on the PG136x139 SKU 360 PCB. As for the memory specs, the GeForce RTX 4080 is expected to rock 16GB of GDDR6X capacities that are said to be adjusted at 23GB per second speeds across a 256-bit bus interface. This will provide up to 736GB per second of bandwidth. This will still be a tad bit slower than the 760GB per second bandwidth offered by the RTX 3080 since it comes with a 320-bit interface but a lowly 10GB capacity. To compensate for the lower bandwidth, Nvidia could be integrating a next-gen memory compression suite to make up for the 256-bit interface. For power, the TBB is now set to be rated at 340 watts, a 20-watt increase from the previous 320-watt spec that we got. This brings the TBB to the same ballpark as the existing RTX 3080 graphics card. Now, it is not known whether the other RTX 40 series graphics card will also be getting the faster GDDR6X memory treatment, but we know that the Micron has commenced full mass production of up to 24GB GDDR6X memory modules, so they have to go somewhere. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080 and RTX 4070 graphics card will be among the first graphics card besides the RTX 4090 to launch to gamers. The RTX 4090 is so far expected to launch on October 22, but an unveiling is expected at Nvidia's GTC keynote later this month. Nvidia's RTX 4080 price rumors. The RTX 4080 should cost $700, going on previous cards in the same ballpark. The 2080 and 3080 both cost this, as well as the 1080 Ti when it launched. Nvidia is pretty good with just slotting in the new card into the old version's place price-wise, so expect similar results for the 4070, 4060, and so on. However, with the rise in material costs, it's likely that this $700 boundary could be shattered. It's a tricky one though, as we're currently witnessing GPUs drop in price after cryptocurrency bottomed out spectacularly and hasn't been quick to recover. It's safe to assume that MSRP and what you pay will nearly be 1-to-1. Factories are also starting to ramp up production again since COVID-19 restrictions are being lifted to en masse. so cards should start hitting shelves a lot quicker. Should you upgrade to the RTX 40 series? If you're on the 10 series or 20 series, yes, now is the time to upgrade. However, if you're on the 30 series, no, unless you absolutely need to remain on the cutting edge. These cards will supposedly need PCIe 4.0 even though 3.0 is forward compatible. If you're planning on making the leap to the RTX 4080 or any of its siblings, you're going to be upgrading the full thing. Motherboard, CPU, etc. It's time, let it go. For those on the 30 series, just don't bother. The TI variations might be worth it, but the jump at a consumer that's you level is not worth the hassle of having to get, install, and pay out the nose for yet another new GPU. So if you recently upgraded or built a machine and are now kicking yourself, then don't. New graphics card will not magically make your older card slower. If you're looking for a brand new graphics card to grab right now, then you could do much worse than picking up the old reliable RTX 3080. How many CUDA cores is the 4080 expected to have? Right now, leaks suggest the RTX 4080 will have 10,240 CUDA cores. They work to complete calculations on the graphics card. Additionally, improvements to architecture mean that you will be able to complete tasks faster thanks to the boost in performance that more CUDA cores affords. So that wraps up our video. Hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please leave a thumbs up as I always appreciate that. Also, please feel free to leave a comment, suggestion for future videos, or questions you have, as we love getting to respond to as many of those as we can. And if you subscribe to the channel, welcome to our Legit Pick family. We've got lots of more videos coming your way. Till then, stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.